What is something that seems harmless, but is actually dangerous? Turtle/tortoises. Their bite power is intense. Straining hard to shit. If you need to strain regularly, you need to sort your diet out and/or see a doctor. You shouldn't need to strain to poo. According to urban legend, that's how Elvis died. Loud noise exposure. Hearing damage, tinnitus, hyperacusis. There is no cure for these problems. I find people tend to overlook this stuff, but tinnitus can drive you into severe depression and madness. My dad literally committed suicide because his tinnitus drove him insane. Wedding dress photos in/near water. It is very easy to get pulled down by the weight of the dress. I did my trash the dress shoot in a waterfall, and I was surprised by how heavy it became. I only went waist high in the water, and with my husband holding me very closely plus the photographer and 2 assistants. The pictures are totally worth it, but dangerous indeed. Going down a slide with your child in your lap. Easy for their leg to get caught on the side of the slide while you're both going down and cause serious injuries. This happened to my daughter when she was 2 years old. A woman at a preschool rode down a slide with her and broke her leg. Fortunately it was a minor break, and more fortunately it was 2 weeks before Halloween, so I got to dress her as a peg-legged pirate for Halloween. Cat urine. If you clean a cat box with bleach, it can react with the ammonia in the urine and produce chloramine vapors. Don't accidentally gas yourself with cat piss. In case anyone was wondering, wash the cat litter box with white vinegar, rinse it out, then wash it with hydrogen peroxide and rinse again. Works like a charm. Petting a dog you don't know without asking. Dangerous to you getting bit, dangerous to the dog getting a bite record. This is such a huge problem. My dad has a service dog and has had an extreme amount of people reach down and pet her without asking. She even has patches on her vest saying do not pet. While she is at zero risk of biting people, I can't imagine why people think it's okay to pet an animal they don't know without asking. They are seriously putting themselves at risk of getting hurt if they do it once to the wrong dog. Taking apart a microwave. Can you elaborate? I never even thought of attempting it, but wondering why. A microwave has a capacitor inside that can kill with electric shock. If you don't know what you're doing and touch the wrong thing, your heart can stop and your brains can fry. My appliance guy told me once that if I stuck a fork into a 220V outlet, naked and doused in salt water, I'd have a better chance of survival than touching a microwave capacitor. He really paints a picture lol. Small cuts. They are not big, but they can still be infected and cause blood poisoning. Yes, the skin is a vital protective organ. A friend had to have heart valve surgery because of a prickle in his thumb from gardening. The infection spread to his heart and vegetation. Fungal fruiting bodies, like mushrooms, grew in the heart. A classmate lost his leg below the knee to an infected insect bite. Ignoring dental hygiene. I know flossing is considered uncool and all, but for real just do it. Yeah, it hurts like hell at first, but that's because your gums are tender from all that neglect. It does get easier. Doing fireworks at home. To be fair, I do them every year for the 4th, but I'm always so nervous one of the mortars aren't going to go off in the sky and instead land on my neighbor's house and light it on fire. Fireworks are super dangerous as you aren't careful, but they are just as dangerous if you're the most careful person in the world. OTC pain meds, Advil, aspirin, Tylenol, etc. People think of them as harmless because you don't need a prescription and they are not habit forming. But if you take enough of them, it's going to be your last headache. Tylenol is the one you really shouldn't mess around with. It's easy to odd, especially compared to ibuprofen. I once bought a bottle of 600mg Tylenol. It said maximum dose 3 pills in 24 hours. I previously had taken up to 12 Advil in a day with no ill effects, so I took the label as a suggestion. I took 2 at night, woke up in the morning, and took 2 more because I was still in a lot of pain. By 3 PM I was disoriented and vomiting, and it lasted about 12 hours. Driving while really tired. A lot of people don't realize just how dangerous it can be, almost as dangerous as driving drunk. I was once making a long trip while driving on barely any sleep and ended up nodding off at the wheel and woke up when my car went into a small ditch on the side of the road. Luckily the small highway was empty and there was nobody near me when that happened, but it made me realize just how stupid it was and how I could have been responsible for injuring or even killing someone else because of my stupid mistake. A slow loris. You may think that it's just a cute animal, but it's one of the only mammals in the world that are venomous and the only venomous primate. If you see it putting its thumbs in its armpits and rubbing its teeth, run. It's supplying the venom secreted from its armpit glands onto its teeth, so it can bite you with the venom. Sitting for long periods of time without standing or moving your legs. Blood can pool in your legs, form clots, and if those clots break off, they can travel into your lungs, heart or brain, and you can get pretty sick. It's not necessarily fatal, but it can be. If you get a loose clot, you might get sick and short of breath over a period of time, giving you enough time to go to the or you can just suddenly drop dead without warning if it's really massive. Your house. Your bathroom is a death trap. Your stairs actively want you dead and are conspiring with your area rugs. The house itself might be slowly killing you. Your appliances can poison you, and the entire thing is laced with enough electricity to kill you deader than fried chicken. Hell, one time I was doing electrical work in an attic, and I almost got bit by live uncapped 220V just hanging out in the insulation. If I hadn't checked the circuit I was trying to work on, even though I had turned it off and confirmed not 10 minutes prior, I would have likely gotten hit with it. Always carry your non-contact and use the damn thing. It takes 2 seconds and will quite possibly save your life. Mixing cleaning products to make a super cleaning product. My mom's friend created chlorine gas and nearly straight up killed herself doing it. Bleach plus vinegar equals dye. I, myself, learned that you can create a terribly unstable acid by mixing hydrogen peroxide with vinegar. I wanted to do a controlled experiment with it. A clay pot containing the acid suspended above a clay pot filled with sand. I've seen someone do it and wanted to try it out myself. Shit's nuts. Gotta be real careful with this crap and know what you're doing, or you're gonna kill yourself and everyone around you. Not saying anything about what you think is a really minor injury, or at least talking to a walk-in clinic about it. Chipped a tooth when I was 14, but what was left of it wiggled a lot, like it was about to fall out of my mouth at any second. So I just elected not to say anything about it and let nature take its course. Fast forward about 3 weeks later, and I'm in Tampa General on antibiotics because my cheek was swelling up like a balloon. They got a specialist in to see me, ran a few tests, did a few scans, and scheduled me to see an oral surgeon by the end of the week. According to what they told me, the remainder of the chipped tooth had gotten infected to the point that it was about 2 to 3 weeks from killing my right eye and another 1 to 2 weeks after that from traveling back into my brain and killing me. Now I have an unnatural gap in the back right corner of my mouth where they drilled the tooth root out of my gum. At least the laughing gas was fun. TL. Doctor chipped a tooth and almost died. Emotional vampires. You'll date someone who seems so nice, but, on the down low, just takes from you. You can't see the forest for the trees, because you're so caught up in their life. You want to help them feel better, but as time wears on you realize that they will not change. In fact, they don't want to. They rely on you for emotional sustenance. They decide to act more and more helpless to drain you of every bit of attention and love that they can siphon from your withering heart, and by the time it's over and you've had enough, you're not the same person. Not getting a flu shot. I don't need it. I'm 24 and healthy. I get sick. Week off from work. Awesome for you. But please get the shot to prevent the spread to more vulnerable folks, babies, pregnant women, the immune compromised, and old people. The flu can kill them, but sometimes it's only 30% effective. Well, great, go prevent some cases of flu. But I get the flu from it, you do not. The slight temporary fatigue you may feel is your immune response, which is a normal side effect that indicates your body is making immunity to prevent a future real infection. The flu shot is available and cheap because it's in everyone's best interest that as many people get vaccinated as possible. Just do it. If not for yourself, for your 80-year-old grandma and the baby next door. Beaches, because unless you grew up or respect the beach, you will swim out of the flags into a rip and think you can outswim a rip with little to no swim experience. Spoiler alert, you can't, and people who do this are the only people who drown. Foreigners who have no knowledge. It's dangerous, but you can escape, even if you Google tactics. Letting your dog eat a grape. Just a few, less than 5, can kill a German Shepherd-sized dog. Phantasma here, hope you enjoyed, don't forget to sub for more.